And you got pop, Coke, tonic, soft drink. I've heard soft drink. Lemonade. What do you mean? Sweetened carbonated beverage. Lemonade. You are ill. Lemonade is the juice from a lemon with water and sugar mixed in. Are you delusional? Fizzy drink. Dope. Yeah, let me get some dope. Do you call it a small road parallel to the highway? I don't know what that is. A fraudage road? Now hold on just a minute. Frauding? When it rains while the sun is shining, that's a sun shower. Now, there's a lot going on here. There's a lot of repression going on in these other answers. Like, the wolf is giving birth, and the devil is beating his wife. Like, the most absurd one I can think of are gonna be between these two. Yeah, I did this earlier today. I thought it was a funny meme. Maybe I should have saved it for stream. This is the New York Times dialect quiz or whatever. What the fuck is it? Aha! This is the map I got here, where I'm essentially all over the map. So I figured we could do it again. That said, I took the test again because I fucked up my first screenshot, and it didn't save my answers. And I got a slightly different map because the questions are not always the same, which is interesting. How do you address a group of 2 or more people? Y'all. But that's actually a new change. I used to say you guys, but I've recently changed to y'all to be more inclusive in like the last 2 or 3 years of my life. Sweet carbonated beverage, soda, any other answer, you're mentally deranged. Large motor vehicle used to carry freight. Tractor trailer, brother. I always said tractor trailer. I think semi-truck also makes sense. What do you call the area of grass between the sidewalk and the road? The median, I think, right? Oh no, that's the sidewalk and the road. Yeah, I don't have a word for that. Thank you very much, Farrell, for the $50. Really appreciate that. You're out of your goddamn gourd. Thank you very much. That is very kind of you. On your sit. Appreciate that. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't know that this was a thing. I didn't know there was a word for this. Curb strip, beltway, verge, terrace, tree lawn, parking, berm. Like, what the fuck is all this? You know, everyone's caught and caught the same? Yes. What, caught and cout? Coat? What are you saying, man? How is there a different pronunciation for the two? Coat? Come on, man. Do you call a traffic situation in which several roads meet in a circle? That's a roundabout. Where I was, though, in Jersey, there weren't a lot of them. In fact, I don't think I've seen any roundabouts in Jersey, only in Pennsylvania. How do you pronounce the second syllable of pajamas? Like palm. Pajamas. Pajamas. Pajamas? Pajamas. I feel like I oscillate. I'm gonna go put on my pajamas. Pajama pants? I think it's jam, actually. I think I answered jam before. But now that I think about it, I think jam makes more sense. Do you call the small road parallel to the highway? I don't know what that is. Like, I don't know what that is. Small road parallel to the highway. What is that? Service road? What does that mean? What does it mean for there to be a road parallel to the highway? Because, like, when I think about that, I usually think, surely it's not talking about, like, entrance and exit ramps. That would be dumb. Because that would be a thing here. So it's something else. Like a dirt road that's just there? Oh, no, yeah, I have seen that, actually. I still don't have a word for it, though. I think I've never heard of this concept. Like, so if I think back on it, I was driving to, like, some relatives that were further away, and the highway that I was on had this. I think. But, like, I've never even thought about it. So, like, I don't think we have them, but I have no word for them is the correct answer here. So I'm just gonna say never heard. How do you pronounce the first syllable in lawyer? Like law. Because I'm not stupid. Lawyer? Who the fuck says lawyer? It's a lawyer because they practice law. Come on now. Yeah, you broke many laws today. Like, it doesn't happen. Doesn't make any sense. We call the small freshwater lobster often found in lakes and streams. Crayfish. Fucking crawdads. Call the rubber-soled shoes worn in gym class or for athletics activities. Sneakers. Also potentially running shoes. Because, like, when I think about my running shoes, I don't call them sneakers. I call them running shoes. But my entire life, I've referred to them as sneakers until, like, now. So. And, like, if I look at somebody else wearing them, I wouldn't say they're wearing running shoes unless I see them running. You know what I mean? Like, if somebody's wearing running shoes while out and about, like, getting groceries, I would call those sneakers. So. What do you call it when rain falls or the sun is shining? That's a sun shower, man. Now, my thing about this is, what the fuck are these other answers? Sun shower makes sense because it's a rain, rain shower, but when the sun's still out. So it's a sun shower. Are you mentally? What's going on? So we got the wolf is giving birth, the devil is beating his wife, monkey's wedding, fox is wedding, pineapple, rain, liquid sun. Like, are you okay? What is happening in this country? How do you pronounce bin? The vowel in sit. How you been? How you been? The vowel in set? Ben. No. Bin. Like the garbage bin. Though we would call that a garbage can. You call the large wildcat native to the Americas a mountain lion. The area of grass in the middle of some streets. That's a median. Island makes sense to me too, but it's a median. Because it's in the middle. What do you call the thing from which you might drink water in a school? A water fountain. Because it's a fountain that dispenses water. Bubbler? There's no way you call it a bubbler. Are you insane? You've lost it. Drinking fountain also makes sense. I feel like I've heard both growing up, but water fountain is the most common, and that's what I call it. Because, once again, it's a fountain from which water is dispensed. For drinking, though, which is why drinking fountain also makes sense. Because there are fountains that dispense water, you're just not supposed to drink it. Like decorative fountains, you know? But I'm used to water fountain. How do you pronounce aunt? This one is actually interesting. So if I think about it in concept, I say aunt. But when I refer to the aunts in my family, I say aunt. Like aunt and then your name, which is actually an option here, which is interesting. I use when referring to the general concept of an aunt, but I use aunt when I refer to a specific person by name. I don't know why that is, but that is what it is. Use even with auntie. We don't call people aunties where I'm from. I think that's more southern. What do you call an easy high school or college class? What the hell are these options? A gut, a crypt course, a crip course, a bird, a blow-off, meet, other. It's gonna be other. What do you call an easy high school or college class? I'm trying to think of what it used to be. Like a cheat something, right? A cheat class or something like that? Something like that. Crip walking. Yeah, that's what it is. A burner? What do you call a small gray bug that curls up into a ball when it's touched? So I have the correct answer here because I'm not a fucking degenerate. It's a roly-poly. Any other answer and you need to be locked up in an institution. It's a fucking roly-poly. Because it's the cuter name. Let's be honest here. Thank you very much, Drix, for the tier. What's up for 5 months? Welcome back to the Twitch chat, Buffalo. Hope you enjoy your stay. Big trans. Roll out. It's a roly-poly. I have heard pill bug, though. But it's a roly-poly. What do you call a traffic jam caused by drivers slowing down to look at an accident or other diversion on the side of the road? This is the answer for me. I don't think we have a name for that. For, like, the actual traffic jam. It's just called a traffic jam. But rubbernecking is what people do when they look at the shit happening which causes the traffic jam. So they actually have a response for that. Yeah, roly-poly-oly also makes sense. But it's called a roly-poly. If you called it a roly-poly-oly, you're probably gay now. And you were back then, too. What would you call a sale of unwanted items on your porch, in your yard, etc.? It's a garage sale. Yard sale also applicable, but I usually heard it referred to as garage sale. Car boot sale? I've actually heard that before. I don't know what from, though. Depends whether it's in the yard or the garage. Yeah, but garage is usually it. Like, that's just what I remember hearing the most. How do you pronounce caramel? Like a normal person. If you say Carmel, you're diseased. It's caramel. This is an interesting result. I use both pronunciations, but the two have different meanings. What different meanings could there be between caramel and caramel? Caramel. Hello? It's caramel. Put some respect on it. Caramel's good. Generally speaking, you can't have bad caramel. Like, caramel flavoring, like syrup in like a coffee or something, usually tastes like dog shit. In my opinion. Tastes like medicinal. I don't like it. But like, hot caramel on soft serve ice cream is fucking godlike. Or like, Getz's caramel creams. These are my favorite. These are my favorite candy. How do you say caramel apple? Like a normal person? These things are overpowered and terrible for you because they're so good. You eat all of them at once and it's not good, but they're delicious. Getz's caramel creams. Actually overpowered. Caramel. How do you pronounce the words Mary, Mary, and Mary? All the same. So the person's name Mary. How else do you pronounce that? Marie? That's a different name, dumbass. Mary. How else do you say Mary? Murray? That's also a different thing. And then how do you say marry like to marry somebody? It's all the same. All to be pronounced differently? How? Mary and Mary are pronounced the same, but Mary is different? How? Mary and Mary are pronounced the same, but Mary is Mary and Merriam-Webster. Fuck off. All three are pronounced the same. What do you call the night before Halloween? Mischief night. Goosey night is very cute, though. I've never heard this before. But that's adorable. Because, like, you're out and about being a silly goose. That's what I assume that's from. You're goosing. Is a name for that night? Yeah, it's when you go out and you fuck shit up by, like, toilet papering people's houses or whatever. People celebrate that? It's like a dank meme. I would always hear about it. I never participated myself. Hallows Eve? All Hallows Eve? I've heard that before. Excuse me. What do you call the... Oh, this is one that I haven't gotten before, actually, when I took the test beforehand. What do you call the long sandwich that contains cold cuts, lettuce, and so on? That's a sub. The sub sandwich. You say grinder, you're a mad lad. You say hoagie, you're a mad lad. You say hero, you're deranged. Italian sandwich, I can understand. Well, it's a sub. All right, let's see. Yeah, that makes sense. My map. Pretty East Coast. Also relatively southeastern. Encroaching into the Midwest. Little bit of fucking Southwest. So this is what I got before. There are different questions. It's 25 questions, but they change some of them out. Here's the link. So apparently I lost some of the Pacific Northwest on this quiz. But that might be because I didn't get the question that would have put me up there like I did in this one. Like, in this one, we got the sub-sandwich question, but that wasn't in the quiz for this one. But yeah, I grew up in New Jersey, but not in the city. I grew up in the middle of nowhere, conservative, dying town, New Jersey. Which is not a place that anybody is aware of unless you live in the tri-state area. That said, I have family that lives in Florida. I also have family that lives all up and down the East Coast. Not so much on the West Coast, though. Or the Midwest. So, like, my family is like a melting pot. But yeah, I did indeed escape the East Coast. Because I live in the great state of Washington now. Like, I've talked to a variety of West Coasters, Californians, etc. And I asked them if it sounds like I have any kind of accent. And they say no. So this is probably why. I have the all-American accent. I am perhaps the most American. Especially judging by this map, when I got slightly different questions. Mr. Worldwide. You sound Texan? You've lost it. Need to get your hearing checked. Do the test again. Just a group of people, y'all. Used to be you guys, though. Sub. Grass in the middle of some streets. Median. Large motor vehicle. Tractor trailer. Rainfall. Sun shower. Rubber sole sneakers. Freshwater lobster. Crayfish. Lawyer. Crayon. So this is one we didn't get in the last quiz. I say crayon. So this is these are weird. With 2 syllables. Sounds like cray-on. On. Or with 2 syllables where the second syllable rhymes with dawn. They both, it's the same. This answer is the same for me. Because I say dawn, like on, dawn, on, dawn. It's the same. How are you supposed to say that differently? Like cron? Are some people saying cron? That would be 1 syllable though, so it can't be. It has to be cray, on. An? That's not an, that would be A-N-N. The A-H is on. Crayon. Oh, this is a thing that was not on the last one. What do you call something that is across both streets from you at an intersection or diagonally across from you in general? I don't have a term for this. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Kitty corner? What is this? A Discord server? Catty corner? Kitty wampus. You have worms in your brain. What are you talking about? What do you call a small gray bug? Roly-poly, because I'm based and epic. Traffic situation with several roads roundabout. Water fountain. Traffic jam. Drive-through liquor store. I have never heard of such a thing. I'm imagining this is a South thing. Because what the fuck are you talking about? The only place with laws that would be so lax that would allow for a drive-through liquor store has to be in the South. Never heard of it. What is the distinction between dinner and supper? I don't use the word supper. However, I've had family who do, but I don't. So that's why that's my answer. Supper is an evening meal. Dinner is eaten earlier. Supper is an evening meal. Dinner is the main meal. What? Dinner takes place in a more formal setting than supper? I don't know. Sup my dick. What do you call the insect that flies around in the summer and glows in the dark? That's a lightning bug, brother. What is a peeny wally? What? What is a peeny wally? We call the area grass between the sidewalk and the road. Don't have that word. Mary, Mary, Mary are all pronounced the same because I'm normal. Caramel, 3 syllables. How do you pronounce bin? Like bin? Bean? No. Small road parallel to the highway. Don't have that. I have seen it before. Don't know the name. I don't see it enough. How do you pronounce aunt? On concept. When referring to a person, I say aunt. I don't know why. Large wildcat native to the Americas. Mountain lion. Big road on which you drive relatively fast. That's a highway. I can understand people saying freeway, but it's a highway. A parkway is literally a different thing. Parkways were invented as literally like a way to drive your car through a park. Like that's supposed to be a scenic drive, is my understanding of the etymology of that word. I don't know why the fuck you would call a highway a parkway. It's a highway. Turnpike? Now this is the tri-state area. The Jersey Turnpike, where there's always bad traffic. It's a highway. Oh, God. Yeah, see, like, it depends on the questions you get. I don't know why it's different questions sometimes, because it fucks with your result. Like, this puts me very East Coast. But the last one we did put me all over the map, except for, I guess, the Midwest and the Pacific Northwest. And then this one I did put me literally all over the map, except for, like, the upper Midwest. Which I guess this is technically the Midwest, because this is just the South. So, like, the Midwest is, like, here-ish. The South is, like, here-ish. And this is the Northeast. And this is the West, Pacific Northwest. So I don't even know, man. I got 3 different maps. I'm curious. I just want to do it one more time. I'm not going to read through them. Sweet. Oh, so this is one we didn't see. Sweet spread that is put on a cake, frosting or icing. I've heard both, but frosting is, I think, what I usually hear. Ba-da-bop. 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 Beep. Bop. Boop. Ba-doop. Yeah, like, you just get... Well, I guess these are relatively similar. But you're always getting different answers. The test is flawed. Mine was accurate down to the city. You're a stereotype, Jinjo. But there are so many people posting their own screenshots in the comments of my tweet. And I appreciate that. But why do you not motherfuckers know how to crop? Cosmic Corvid knows how to crop. Kind of. Cosmic Corvid understands the concept of cropping an image. The execution, however, is a bit shaky. But, like, no crop here. No crop here. This is an Australian, so not even a human, so that's understandable. No crop. Well, what are you doing? Melomelli, the only one who knows how to do it. Melomelli, the few, the proud. I cropped? Wait, did you respond to it, or did you quote tweet me or something? Oh my god, there are 16 quote tweets. I didn't even realize. Why is it over here? Oh, because there's no regular retweets. That's why. They're all quote tweets. That's funny. All right, let's look at these quote tweets. I'm just going to quickly scroll through them to make sure there's nothing crazy in here. All right, we're good. Holy shit, aggressively Californian. What the hell? How do you even get a map like this? Like, West and Midwest. What is that? Oh no, we got a Midwesterner here. The Midwest is actually kind of based, I'm not gonna lie. It gets a lot of shit, mostly because what constitutes the Midwest contains a lot of shithole states. But, like, the Rust Belt is pretty pog. At least it has the capacity to be. It hasn't always been. Like, this is the Midwest, which includes Canada. But, like, who gives a shit about the Dakotas? Or Nebraska? Or Kansas? Or Missouri, frankly. Illinois, people only know about it because of Simpsons, Springfield. Indiana, for the car racing. Ohio, it's literally just politics. Nobody gives a shit. Michigan, because it's the weird one around the lakes that has 2 pieces. Wisconsin, forgettable. Minnesota is essentially just Canada. Missouri and Illinois are the quintessential Midwest states. That's unfortunate. When I think of the Midwest, I think of Minnesota and Michigan. This is so weird. You're in the Midwest, But, like, you got no strong similarities with anything. That's crazy. And then there's just some Maine up here. Holy. We got a Southwesterner. Kind of based, IMO. Who will never go to Michigan? That's not true. I might. California. Holy shit, Annie. Is this a cry for help? Don't you literally live on the East Coast? What's going on here? This is absolutely a cry for help. We got a Southeasterner. Holy shit. Wait, how do you even get a map that looks like this? What the fuck? Literally just Massachusetts. Yeah, it's just Boston. Apparently wrong state for most similar, though. So not Boston, Massachusetts. That's crazy. We got a West Coaster. Another West Coaster. Another West Coaster. Actually, that's just California. Holy shit. This is like the least blue I've seen on one of these maps. Wait, now I want to see. What happens if I choose what I seem to be the opposite answer? So usually it would be y'all. What would be the opposite of that? I know yins is PA. Yous? What is that? You lot. You lot is like the opposite of y'all. You lot. That's like a three-head answer. What do you call something that is across both streets from you? So I don't have a term for this. So what would be the opposite of not having a term for it? Well, having a term for it. But there's a bunch here. So I'm gonna go with kitty wampus. Because it's the most absurd answer here, which I think would be the opposite of not having an answer. Would be the most absurd one, which is literally kitty wampus. What is that? Do you call a big road on which you drive relatively fast? I say highway like a normal person. What would be the opposite of that? Turnpike, expressway, throughway. Freeway is bigger than a highway. A freeway is free, doesn't charge tolls. A highway isn't. You know, that makes sense. A freeway has limited access, no stoplights, no intersections, whereas a highway can have stoplights and intersections. What? Sure. Lawyer. I say lawyer like a normal person, so lawyer would be the other. Large wildcat native. I say mountain lion. What's the opposite of that? What is a painter? Mountain lion, cougar, puma, mountain cat, mountain screamer, catamount. What is a catamount? This is a Discord server? I think painter, because it's the only one that doesn't make any fucking sense to me. Because, like, I've heard cougar, puma, mountain cat makes sense because mountain lion, panther, mountain screamer, I guess, makes sense because mountain and it screams. Catamount is like cat, mountain cat. Painter is the only one that doesn't make any fucking sense, so. Do you pronounce caught and caught the same? I do, so we're picking no. What do you call the area of grass in the middle of some streets? So I say median. Neutral ground. What is that? I think that's not technically the opposite, because a median is in the middle, which is like neutral. You know what I mean? So that actually makes sense. I have no word for this, I think, is the easiest opposite. Is there a distinction between dinner and supper? So I don't use the word supper, but I have heard it before. So what's the opposite of this? Well, then it would be, I would have to use supper for one of them. So I guess this is technically the true opposite. Because if I don't use supper, but I use dinner, well, then the opposite would be, I don't use dinner, but I use supper. Right? So that's the opposite. That makes sense. How do you pronounce the words Mary, Mary, and Mary? All pronounced the same, so we're doing differently. So we're pretending to be mentally obtuse. Because I don't even know how you do that. I don't know how you pronounce these three words differently. I can't even conceive of it. Differently is New Jersey? I'm literally born in New Jersey, brother. What do you call this long sandwich that contains coca? It's a sub. So the opposite of that would be not having a word, I guess. But that's not fun. So we can go with the most absurd answer. I've heard grinder and hoagie and hero before. And Italian sandwich. A baguette is a type of bread. Are you fucking insane? What is a sarnie, dude? I think this is the most absurd answer. Because, like, I can see bomber. I can understand that. No, I can understand poor boy, too. So I think sarnie is, like, the most absurd. If we're not going to do I have no word, because that's not as fun. What do you call a traffic situation in which several roads meet in a circle? A roundabout, so what would be the opposite? Not having a word, I guess. A traffic circus. Motherfuckers who never learned how to use a roundabout. What do you call the night before Halloween? I say mischief night. Goosey night. What is gate night? Gay night. Cabbage night? Goosey. Call a sweet spread is put on cake. It's frosting, so we'll say icing. Okay, we say soda. And you got pop, Coke, tonic, soft drink. I've heard soft drink. Lemonade. What do you mean? Sweetened carbonated beverage. Lemonade. You are ill. Lemonade is the juice from a lemon with water and sugar mixed in. Are you delusional? What do you mean lemonade? Fizzy drink. Dope. Yeah, let me get some dope. I feel like the true opposite of soda is pop. Because there's a war between the two terms. Like, people who say soda think pop is absurd. And people who say pop think soda is absurd. There's an active hot war going on between the two. Do you call a small gray bug that curls up into a ball when it's touched? That's a roly-poly because we're based. So what's the opposite of that? Like, what? How are you calling a roly-poly a millipede or a centipede? What does that mean? These are actual other insects. Are you ready? Look at this. For those of you who don't know, if you look up roly-poly, you'll get an obvious answer. They roll up. So then if we look up, you know, I guess content warning for spooky, scary bugs, centipede. Are you delusional? How is this the same? Or millipede? How are these the same to you? You've lost it. So if I think about what is the most not looking like a roly-poly bug I can think of, it would have to be a fucking centipede. Because that looks nothing the same. Do you call the thing from which you might drink water to school? I say water fountain. I think bubbler is the opposite, because what the hell is that? It doesn't bubble. There's no bubbling happening. It just shoots water out. Where are the bubbles coming from? I think you gotta get your pipes checked. It's the lead pipes that make it bubble. How do you pronounce the second syllable in pajamas? Like pajamas, so jammas. How do you pronounce aunt? I say when referring to the concept, ant when referring to a person. I use ant when referring to the concept, and when I refer to a person. So that would be the opposite. What do you call the area of grass between the sidewalk and the road? I don't have a word for that. So we're calling it parking, because that makes no sense. Like, I can see berm, tree lawn, terrace, curb strip, beltway, verge. I can see these being, like, actual terms you would use. You wouldn't say parking. That makes no sense. We call a large motor vehicle used for... So that's a tractor trailer. Opposite of this is a lorry. Because what is that? From the UK, bro. What do you call the small road parallel to the highway? I don't know what that is. A fraudage road? Now, hold on just a minute. Frauding? If you told me what the concept was, which people have, then I would say service road makes sense to me. Because, like, it's the road you go on when you don't want to be on the highway because your shit's fucked. Insect that flies around, I say lightning bug like a normal person. Peeny Wally, dude. That has to be the UK term. There's no way any real human beings use this term. So that's the opposite. When it rains while the sun is shining, that's a sun shower. Now, there's a lot going on here. There's a lot of repression going on in these other answers. Like, the wolf is giving birth, and the devil is beating his wife. Monkey's wedding, fox's wedding, pineapple rain, liquid sun. Like, the most absurd one I can think of are going to be between these two. But also these two. Pineapple rain I can get, liquid sun I can get, I guess. Both of these, that makes sense, I suppose. But, like, this is insane. Drive-through liquor store, don't have it. A brew-through, party barn, bootlegger. Bootlegger makes sense to me, because, like, people who used to bootleg beers during Prohibition, like, you'd be trying to do that quickly, I would imagine. So going through a drive-thru for it would be very quick. So that makes sense to me. Do you call a sale of unwanted items on your porch, in your yard, etc.? I say garage sale. So what the fuck is a jumble sale? If you're predicting that by picking the most absurd answers, you'll be in the South? Yeah, probably. Let's find out. Midwest. It's because it's a fake place. It doesn't exist. The Midwest is fake. It's a CIA intelligence operation. It's not real. They're trying to make it so that you believe it's real, but it's not. And clearly, we can tell from this test, you got all the proof you need. The Midwest is not a real place because nobody uses any of the words for the answers that I picked. Midwest, more like you betcha, Stan. What the fuck are you talking about? Show least similar? Oh, I didn't know this was a thing. Wait, now I wish I did that with the other maps that I did. Oh, well. What's funny is it still kind of puts me on the East Coast, but also New Orleans and Milwaukee. Nolans. Milwaukee, Providence, Nolans. New Orleans. New Orleans. Anyway, enough of this. The Midwest is fake. Stay woke.